Yo, what's going on everyone? Guiding Light here, and in this video I'm going to walk you guys through the Elder Jinchi boss fight. Now this boss is actually in a secret location, but will also get you a trophy once defeating it. Now here's a quick look at the build in which I'm using, and I thought this boss fight was actually a little bit easier when using this build. I tried it with a few other builds, and I got almost to the end, but this one definitely helped a bit more. Now this boss has a few mechanics to it as well. And the best part about this boss is that you can actually heal while doing the boss fight by killing the additional enemies which spawn. Now, as soon as you walk in here, the boss will do a very strong heavy attack. You want to try and do your best to dodge this. Now, if you don't, it's really not a big deal, as you're going to have plenty of time to take this boss down and also heal off the ads. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how this works. Now, every time you take down these additional enemies, these little zombies that are around, you'll notice these health vials begin to spawn out. You can actually use these to respawn as well. Now this boss has quite a lot of heavy attacks, but they can all be dodged. Now if you guys already took down the very first boss in the game, it's very similar. It has all the same mechanics and the same attacks as well. So that was the Wandering Wight. If you guys already took that boss down, it's the same strategy to take him down. Now you'll notice that there's certain times during the boss that he will actually send these additional enemies after you, and they will have an explosive effect. Now it's very simple, you just have to dodge these attacks, and the majority of this fight, honestly, you're going to just be dodging, but you just want to make sure that your timing is there. On top of that, you're going to have to keep an eye on your stamina bar on the bottom left corner, that yellow bar. When it goes down all the way, it will be almost impossible to dodge. Now in between these attacks, when you can, be sure to get some damage in on the boss. Now for the most part, you do want to try to hit him with combos, or just wait until you can stun him completely. Now, the only difference between this boss and the Wandering Wight is that the Wandering Wight could be staggered and completely knocked over. Now, this boss can be staggered, but I did not see a time when he was completely knocked over. But I did utilize my transformation skill to do quite a bit of damage. Now, eventually, during the fight, he will go into this phase where you can't damage him and he's just floating above the air. Now, at this point, the boss will begin to heal, and you need to take out the additional enemies which spawn around him. Now, any enemies you can get down before they get close enough to him, they'll actually end up healing you instead. So during the end of this phase, you should actually come out of it with full health, which is why this boss fight is honestly not that hard. Now the only thing that I noticed that was the most difficult about this boss fight is that I was losing frames quite often, especially when he went into his more powerful attacks. I would lose frames like crazy. Now during this phase, just do your best, take down all the ads that you can. He may heal a little bit, but eventually the phase will end and you just have to go back to dealing damage. Now, anytime you get your transformation skills, go ahead and use them, and go ahead and stun the boss anytime you can use your immobilize. But the biggest thing you want to do is really just try to hit him with these combos and dodge the attacks. Now, it's pretty much all you can do. Anytime you get super low on health, just be sure to take out the additional enemies to heal. Another thing about this fight that I noticed was a little bit hard, or made it more annoying than it needed to be, was when I was locked on to the boss. Honestly, found it a bit easier to not be locked on to the boss a good portion of the time, and it actually definitely made it easier to stay focused on taking down the additional enemies as well. Now that's pretty much it for this boss. I didn't think it was all that difficult, but that's pretty much it for this boss. Now in order to get this boss unlocked, you will actually have to ring 3 separate bells across the map in secret locations. Now, I'm going to make a video on where you can find all 3 of these locations. So if you have not found the other 2 yet, you can follow that guide in order to unlock this. Hopefully this helps you out, and I will catch you in the next one.
$270 spent. Kasayas collected by the hundreds. Still not short without his. No, stop. Leave Leave it. Just leave it. Stop